again with another great episode and another amazing guest. I would like to introduce Pisces to the podcast. Hello, Pisces.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
I'm so glad you're here because we've been kind of like working quietly behind the scenes together for a minute. And I really am excited for people to get to know you better. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You know what's something funny that I was reading because I was researching you and I noticed that like weirdly, surprisingly, people get your name wrong. Like they called you Plies at one club. I don't understand. Like Pisces is such an easy name to
Yeah.
read. What's up with that?
They always spell like pieces or something. Like they put an E in it, and I'm like, you know how pieces is spelled, right? So you know that's not correct.
Right, but also who names himself Pieces? Also
Well,
that? Have you heard
I
it
did have.
before?
I've had my first dance partner was my old best friend when we first started dancing, and her name was Reese's.
Oh,
And
okay.
because they kept calling me Pieces, we ended up just being on a stage together, calling each other Reese's Pieces.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really cute. I love that. I love it. Well, I would love to get to know more about you too. So, can you tell everyone, like, what is your story? Like, where, what's stripping for you? How long have you been doing it? Where do you hail from, etc.?
Well, I started dancing 13 years ago. Yeah, it
Nice.
was a long time. How I started was honestly, I was just looking for dance gigs.
Hmm.
And I was just so innocent in it all because it was on Craigslist and I just, was booking gigs after gigs like backup dancing and other type of hip hop dancing crews and things like that. And I scrolled on something that said like make 500 a night and I was like,
Okay.
what? What is this? Like dancing, you said? 500 a
Right.
night dancing. Because I believe at the time I was also go-go dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, and and I was like, "What? Okay." So honestly, I didn't even know it was like a strip club until I looked up the location and I saw what was going on. I was like, "Oh!" And then I started getting a little nervous, but I still went up there, and the house mom was really nice. But that's how it started. But
Right.
how it ended up being for me, it ended up helping me with my mental health.
Okay.
I'm bipolar diagnosed, and there's days where I'm high, but then there's more days where I'm low. And
Okay.
those days allowed me to allow me to stay at home and, recoup while dancing. And I was
Yeah.
able to still keep the bills up
Right.
and pay the bills, keep the bills up, pay the bills.
Yeah. Totally. I get that. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about the freedom of being an independent contractor
Yeah.
as a stripper. The debate of which is better, I don't know, but um that freedom is like everything to be able to take care of yourself and pay your bills. So,
Yeah.
wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, I go dance before stripping too, and like the money was just like right? For me, it wasn't for you have to like know the right people and like be on this hierarchy of go-go dancers in order to make a
Yeah.
lot of money. Was that your
Oh
experience?
yeah, yes. They kept telling me you can't be a go-go dancers because there's no black go-go dancers, and that's the whole. Like I completely like went on this go-go dancing journey because I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna be the first black girl to go-go dance in Dallas, Texas. Like
That's ludicrous. I've definitely
it
seen black go-go
is,
dancers.
yeah. And I ended up, able to have my own night and able to like hire a bunch of other black go-go dancers and we just did the whole night thing, but then I ended up getting in a car accident
Mm,
and it just messed up all those plans, so it kind of
yeah.
fell apart.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
But then you found stripping and
then I
that.
went back to stripping. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, so you've had sort of like an in and out
Transition,
journey.
yeah, for
Okay.
the first 2-3 years of dancing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so since you've been dancing, you have created your neighborhood stripper, which is something that I think is really cool, and I just want to know more about it too. So, like, what is your neighborhood stripper? Because you seem really community to me, just all just from the very little I know about you. So, tell us what your neighborhood stripper is.
Okay, well, your neighborhood stripper is it's my brand, so you see me, but it's for the community. And I wanted to just like I guess show the businesses that we entertainers already have too, because people look down on us
Hmm.
for, stigmatic reasons. And I just wanted to take the stigma out of it and talk about some real shit, you know?
Yeah. Hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So is I noticed that there's a blog on there. So you're writing blogs for the
Yeah.
site, right?
Hmm.
And what do other like dancers get to partake in as far as like joining? Because there's a membership, right? Is that how it works?
So for the website, as far as the blog, you don't have to have a membership to look at the blog, but it's mainly for the businesses and the entertainers who want to post on the
Mm,
social page and be in the forums and make their own groups and just become a whole community behind the scenes, but also in
nice.
public at the same time.
Right, right. And so behind the scenes, so this almost sounds like social media and like resource gathering specifically for strippers and sex workers. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, and it's I guess you would call it a social marketplace
Mm,
because it also they promote their businesses and things, but they can also sell their things in the marketplace.
right.
So
I love
yeah.
that. You did it.
So
That's
support your stripper owned business, okay? Your neighborhood business.
yes. I love that. It's such a good idea. I'm so glad you're doing that. Well, I'm so excited to have Yes a Stripper podcast on there because we have a store now too. So we could essentially we could be on your neighborhood stripper, right? Like,
Yes,
yes.
yes. I want us
Okay.
all to come together. Like,
Yes. So
yeah,
how do you make sure that it is strippers signing up? Because like, I don't know, some people might try to
fraud or
slide.
try to, yeah.
Right. So what's that like?
I usually, so in order to do that, you have to fill out a form. It's not too invasive. There's
Hmm.
many like different ways to prove that you're an entertainer or adult, in the adult industry.
Right.
Certificates, pictures,
Right.
recommendations from somebody who's already
There
like
you
a
go.
business that's already on the directory or somebody who's already a member. Um,
Right.
yeah,
That
those
makes
ways.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want lurkers, managers, club owners in
Yes.
there. No.
It's for allies and strippers, but the strippers have like their own little paywall thing. Like they
Okay.
don't have to deal with the public, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And what type of allies do you think?
I'm thinking the ones that like to support entertainers, that like the stories, definitely those who already follow, their platform on other platforms and want to see, because you're going to be able to be more creative on the post. It's no
Right.
censoring anyone.
Exactly. So there's a
There's no
lot for
shadow banning. There's no
right.
no discrimination. No none of that.
And the allies would be able to like see the some of the stuff that strippers are talking about, ideally,
Hmm.
right?
So
That's
they would
awesome.
be able to see certain posts, not all posts, until they sign in.
Okay.
Guests can't comment or like until they sign in.
Okay. So they can comment too. Interesting.
They can also send messages, but they would have to pay for that.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense. Just like
Yeah.
they have to pay to watch us dance. I think, yes, I saw a meme recently by Trixie the Pixie. Do you know who that is?
No.
She's a dancer over in the DC area, and it was like her. It was a picture of her on stage, and then you could see someone was tipping, and she
Hmm.
called it an infographic, and she said, "Dancer dancing, person tipping," and it's like that simple, you guys.
Exactly.
Because you had said something too. You're like, everyone was standing around in the strip club being like, how do I act in a strip club? And you're like, it's very straightforward. You know exactly what to do in a strip club. So that was on your YouTube video of you dancing at the celebrity club in ATL.
Oh.
I watched a bunch of stuff.
I knew you were doing some research. I felt it in my soul. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I also told you at one point, I'm like, I'm
yeah.
watching your videos. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, did you end up staying at that club? Because your first night sounded like an
Oh
experience for
man,
sure.
it like the club was great. It was fine, but like my experience and the whole my body going through dumb shit. Like I can cuss,
Mhm.
right?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. You going through dumb shit. It just like made the whole experience like, and timing was all wrong. But I did go back, and honestly, I went back twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just empty every time. And then they like wanted me to pay $95 coming in at 7 o'clock. And I was
Mm-mm.
like, what? There's nobody here. And nobody came. And I left at like uh I was gonna leave at midnight, but I ended up leaving at 11 because I was like, no, I can't do this. I get anxiety just sitting here for hours like
Totally.
that. No.
Totally. Yeah, it's real uncomfortable when the club is like quiet for a while because you start asking yourself
Hours,
questions.
just
Yeah,
wow, why are we open? Just be like a late night club. Like I open at
totally.
10. I used to
Yeah.
work at a club that had worked did that, work open at 10, closed at 5, wonderful place, made shitloads of money. Like
Right. So does Two Chains own that strip club?
hmm. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
Candyland.
really? I'm
Hmm.
surprised it didn't do better considering like a celebrity
I'm
owned
sure it
club.
does better at night, but I have not been able
Mm,
to get past.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
see.
I've lost too much money in my mind to even try and go back, you know? Not to like talk down on the club or anything, but it
Yeah.
wasn't doing it for me.
Because didn't you have to travel to go there too? Were
Well,
you
yeah, I
travel?
live here
Mm-hmm.
now, but
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
see.
did. I was
Yeah,
already out here when it, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll go up there,
totally.
I'll audition,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You've danced in a lot of different places, right? In a few different
yeah,
states. Do you mind
yeah.
sharing where like what areas of the country you were in?
Um, I feel like it's been all of Texas so far. I've danced in Austin, Houston,
Oh, wow.
Killeen, Longview, um, Odessa, Tyler, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana,
That's a lot
New
of places.
Orleans, Louisiana, North Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and Miami, Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Denver, Colorado. We had like our own event there. It was fun, so fun for 420. Um,
Awesome.
and Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow. That's amazing.
But that's all I think so
That's
far.
it. That's
And
it.
then
That's all.
Atlanta, Georgia. Here we are. That's it.
Yes.
Jamaica's
Yes.
next.
Jamaica's next? You're going to Jamaica
It's on the bucket list.
to dance?
Hmm.
Wow, what are the clubs like there? Have you ever been?
I have, but I feel the vibes when I look at the videos, and I'm like, I'm loving the vibe.
Oh
I
my
feel like I can
gosh.
do it. I feel like I can do it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you can. Because, I mean, walking through that many doors of a club to get hired is like, it can be nerve-wracking.
Hmm.
And you've done it so many times. And something that I appreciate about you during my research is that you are, trying to teach other dancers, specifically Black dancers, about colorism in these clubs. And You wrote a blog article about it, about a melanin issue in the clubs. And I just love to hear your perspective, your experience, and like what you, if you feel up to it too, like what would you say to other dancers that are maybe experiencing those types of things?
I would say know who you are as a stripper so you can understand what kind of club you like, what kind of club you feel comfortable at. Because if you're at a club that you're not comfortable in, you don't like, you're going to waste your time there, just sitting there because you're not making the money because you're not comfortable. You might
Mm,
be comfortable somewhere else. Like I find that I'm more comfortable in a mixed club.
okay.
I'm more comfortable doing mid shifts, like from 4 to
Mm,
12, so I don't have to wait in the morning or I don't have to like dance late at night because I get
right.
tired. So
Right.
you just got
Yeah.
to understand how you like to dance and what clubs, and are you willing to take the risk? Because I know a lot of black dancers want to work at white clubs, but they're so prejudiced with their hiring that it's hard to. But you can also pay them $500, pay the manager $500, and they'll let you work that night. Most clubs do that. Most white clubs
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, I
So,
saw that in one of your posts, and I first of all, I hate that that's what you have to do
mhm.
to work. Um, but like that's worked though.
Yeah,
Also,
it's worked for my friend in Houston, and
okay.
then I had another friend. That's actually the one in Houston. That's when I first learned, like, what, you can pay 500 to work, like.
Mhm.
And then a friend out in Vegas, she said that she had did the same thing, and I was like, yeah, that must be a thing. That has to be a thing.
So it happened at different with different people in different
Different
locations.
locations.
Okay, I have some questions. May I? Okay. Um, did the manager ask for it? Or did the dancer assume, or did it happen different ways?
The manager. Well, the first one, the first friend, yes, but they also knew the game.
Okay,
So they already also knew. So I don't know if the manager had asked or she just knew to do it. And at some point in life, a manager did ask.
I see.
Um,
I see.
but my friend, she didn't tell me if the manager asked or not. But I'm
Okay.
assuming that he did because that doesn't come up in somebody's head. Yeah, I have to pay $500 to work. Like, what?
Right. Right. And is that per night or is that like a one-time hiring
I
situation?
think it's a one-time hiring
Okay.
situation, to
Okay.
see how the girl does and if she's bringing in money to the customers. Because like they probably wouldn't be able to go back afterwards, but that's the
Yeah.
price they pay. Apparently, I
That is
don't
so
understand the
frustrating.
logic of that, but one day I probably
No.
will.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't understand a lot of their logic.
Yeah. It's
You
a
know,
racist thing, you know. You got
yes.
you, either you take half their money and then yeah, go work because they probably think you're not going to make the money anyways. So, and the whole reason of not hiring black dancers, knowing that the customers love black dancers, that's what makes it racist because they know that we would make the money. So they keep us
Right.
from the money, and so we have to create our own clubs.
Right.
Hmm.
I hate all of that, that happens. And what can other dancers who are not experiencing that do in like solidarity, allyship, show up? What is there an option? Is there something that can be done?
Well, I find most people are blind to it when it happens in front of them.
Okay,
So they have to open their eyes.
I see.
It's like, yeah, you can see it on you see the injustice on social media, but when it's right in front of you,
Hmm.
they cannot they go, you know, speaking up for the person, saying, "Oh no, they're not like that. This club isn't like that." oh, our manager, he loves black people, blah blah
I
blah.
see.
Like it's,
Denial.
I guess, making
Okay.
up. I guess denial, something, or they're just
Yeah.
not trying to pay attention. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I've actually in a
Social contract. That's what it is.
okay. Can
Social
you
contract.
elaborate for people who might
It's
not get
like,
that?
okay, so whenever you're a part of a group, you have a
Hmm.
certain contract and how you react with these people.
Hmm.
And most white people have this thing where they stand up for each other without even trying to acknowledge what they did or what they're doing. And you're
Yeah.
just blindly, sticking
Yeah.
up for them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I personally think that even besides blindly sticking up for them, like continuing to work in those spaces is also enabling the behavior. And like almost maintaining the social contract, but without like maybe opening your mouth, it's still like you're showing up. You
Yeah.
know, I've seen that personally in a club that I used to work at, where we did talk about a lot of problems about the club, and one of them was that the owners and the family members who ran the place were racist. And then after pandemic, everyone just went back to work there, and I'm like, did you forget all of these
And I knew they were going to
conversations?
do it.
I actually thought that some of them wouldn't, and I was very disappointed to see. Actually, not disappointed. I guess just like, I don't know. I thought they wouldn't, and then they did. I thought some of them had morals, and it was
Yeah.
frustrating, and that really sucks. But I love strippers doing it for themselves. I love the story you told about doing a 420 event in Colorado. Like, it sounded like it was a stripper run event. Is that?
No, it wasn't stripper
Oh,
ran, but
okay.
it was like the DJ from our club
Mm-hmm.
and the dancers that were cool with each other. We went
Mm-hmm.
out there and we had our little own thing that happened, and it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really cool. When was that? When did you do that?
Oh man.
Oh, so it was a while ago.
Yeah. Maybe 2019,
Okay.
2018. It was a
Okay.
really long time ago.
Back when we could make out with each other randomly without
Oh
talking to
my
friends.
God. Oh my
Without worrying about anything.
Exactly. You
Hmm.
get it.
Hmm. Oh, those were the
Oh
times.
man. Weren't they?
Right. Where I could maybe kind of put money in my mouth and not be so worried also.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, ew.
Don't touch me. Don't lick me. Don't, no.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. Hold on. I'll take the dollar.
This episode of Yes, a Stripper Podcast is sponsored by Bee's Knees Knee Pads. Bee's knee pads have Velcro straps, removable pad inserts, extended sizing, and an open back design, all with a sleek and sexy look that's built to last. Bee's Knees is your go-to brand for well-made, thoughtfully designed, and ethically produced pole dance essentials like Bee's Knees knee pads, the Floorwork Shrug, the Pole Bag, the Ultimate Pole Goal Notebook, the Pole Instructor Plan Book, online courses, and more. Everything at Bee's Knees is made for pole and the people who do it. Visit beeskneeskneepads.com and use our code YASBEE to get 10% off your first order. That's YASBEE.
So, of all the places you worked in Texas a lot. It sounds like the most.
Yeah, because that's actually where I lived.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been some things going on in Texas that are now kind of bleeding over into Florida. My worry is that it's going to sort of happen state by state by state at this point. Can you fill everyone in on what has been happening in Texas and how that's moved over to Florida?
Well, technically, Texas and Florida, I don't know what it is, but they got like this similar thing going on with the rights and
They're like
whatnot.
siblings or whatever. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's great. That's funny. But yeah, so I did like a lot of digging with it, and like the representative behind it was backed by organizations that were religion affiliated,
Mm,
but named themselves different names each time. But it was the same type of platform, and they, the trafficking and things like that,
okay.
the ones that hurt the actual traffickers and not the ones that actually help.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like that's what's going on, because they're both Bible thumpers in
Yeah.
Florida and
In
Texas,
Texas, yeah.
and a lot of other places. Those places are going to try to do it next. Mississippi, probably, North Carolina. Those are
So
the ones I can think of. But
what exactly are they implementing? Like, what are they doing?
so now they have where you have to be, what, 20? I believe it's 21 in Florida.
Okay.
Is it Florida? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't looked it up in a while, but it felt like it was 25.
Oh God, in Texas?
I'm
Well,
not
we have
quite
to look that
sure
up. How old do you have to be to strip
because it was
in
a lot of
Texas?
entertainers that were out of a job,
Okay.
and they had no heads up.
Mm-hmm. It's 21.
It's 21. Okay,
God,
okay,
yeah.
good. But nobody had any heads up, and there were so many girls that were gone. It was crazy. So many girls were gone.
Yeah, we actually, through Strippers United, got a message from someone in Texas asking us if we could like legally challenge. And, there's only so much to do, or a small entity. But that was the first that I had heard of it. And
Hmm.
so this law just kind of changed overnight without any discussion with anyone.
No, well, they had their secret discussions, their
Of
little private
course.
meetings, of course, but no, they didn't really add anyone into it until they made it an announcement. And then we had
Right.
certain amount of days to, not even certain amount of days, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, it was maybe like 4 days.
To be like,
Before,
okay, find another job if you're under 21. Okay, I have so many questions. What about the club owners and the managers? I mean, every time they
they didn't
lose,
like it either, but
right?
it's not something. The only thing they ended up fighting was the COVID and being able
Okay,
to open, and then also um, the 2 o'clock curfew that they have mainly on adult entertainment clubs, because there's not really too many nightclubs that are open from till 5 in the morning. They're trying
sure.
to get the after hour clubs gone, so all clubs close at 2 a.m.
In the name of religion, basically, like it's these religious groups pushing
Um,
for these laws.
Now I don't know which one for
We don't
that
know.
law. Not for that law. I don't know for that law.
Okay, it could be something
But
different.
yeah, it could be
Okay,
something different. It could have been a different representative backing that one.
okay.
Yeah.
So some people that listen to this podcast are learning. There's civilians that listen to this podcast. So some people might not understand why it's a bad thing to curb the age limit of strippers and sex workers working in safer spaces like strip clubs.
Hmm.
Can you tell us why this is not good? So we can
Well,
teach people. Yeah.
you know, it's crazy because I had a conversation with a friend, and he was like, dancers need to stop dancing, and and I was like, or they need to shut these clubs down. And I was like, why would they shut the clubs down and then the dancers have nowhere to? Well, the dancers don't need to be dancing. And I was like, okay, here's the reason why dancers should be dancing. Some people have mental health issues. Some people, and I told him about how I've seen a lady with cerebral palsy work, and she was doing just fine, and I was saying that she could handle whatever bullshit was coming her way because she had grew up with the bullshit already, people
Right.
coming after her, calling her names, making fun of her, probably bullying her, but
Right.
we as entertainers are nice to her.
Right.
We're a family. sort of, kind
Right.
of.
Sort of, kind of. I get it. I get it.
I'm not delusional. Like,
Right. I know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I told him about how I'm bipolar, and I found it hard for me to work constantly at these regular 9 to 5 jobs because I didn't even want to get up out of bed. And
Right.
most of the time, all I needed was 3 days, and then I'd be just
Sure.
fine. I would be
Right.
just fine.
Okay.
I tell them about not sexual, but the domestic abuse
Yeah.
at home. Some people need to get away from situations, and they may have felonies. They may have misdemeanors. They can't get a job because of that. And it's easier to just be an entertainer because you don't have to deal with a lot of that stuff in most places. And
Yeah.
so they're able to gain that income and make something for themselves and get out of
Right.
that dangerous situation. So they're in a safer situation rather than thinking that we're going to be in a dangerous situation after the fact that we're stripping. Because for some reason, people think that people are in such a good situation before they strip. For some reason, I don't understand that.
Right. We're all in different situations, and some are, yeah, like what you were saying, there may be an abusive household. Like it could be their parent or parents that are abusive, that they need to get, like, the day I turn 18, I'm out of here kind of thing, or even
Financial
sooner.
abuse.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And so it really, like, what it concerns me, them doing that, is now it forces these younger people who are some of our most vulnerable to, like, do more, I want to say, dangerous things to make money, especially if, like how you said, they have some sort of a conviction for whatever reason. I didn't even think about that particular aspect, because I guess it is, if you have something on your record, it
It's
is
hard to get a
really hard to
job.
get a regular job, right? Yeah. So, okay, so they did it in Texas, and have they actually, so it's implemented already. It's already implemented in Texas. Am I right? Am I getting that right? Is it already implemented in Florida, or are they just talking about it?
I think it's no. I think it's implemented, but it hasn't been activated yet. They'll tell you
Okay.
when it's happened, so the clubs get ready to fire all those girls, and then it
Right.
becomes active on a certain day,
So
so
how do we
that you don't
stop
get
it?
fined. You know,
Right. So how do we stop it? I mean, I'm
that is
not
a good
expecting you to have the
question.
answer,
Yeah, that is a good
but
question. That is a group form question. Like, really.
it sounds like we need stripper strikes in every state. Like we all need to stand, like the older strippers, 21 and older, need to stand in solidarity. That's what it sounds like to me. Because what else? And also the
And
club
then,
managers,
yeah,
what's up with them? Why aren't they getting involved in this? Because that hurts
they just
their
want to have sex with the women. They don't
money.
care.
Yeah, I guess they're probably just like, oh well, there's like a whole bunch of other dancers. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh,
that's
new
their
fresh meat.
mentality.
Oh, they're probably gonna love that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't
I
care
mean,
unless it
yeah.
involves them, like specifically like the COVID thing. They wanted
Mm,
all the dancers to, be with them, and
yeah.
I'm like, but y'all ain't with the dancers when they need you. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm tired of that. I love having these conversations, but I
Yeah,
get so frustrated about
because we
them.
need a solution.
We need a solution, and I don't understand why it's so hard yet to find a solution. But at the same time, I do understand. I know way too much. This is the shit that keeps me up at night. Legitimately. Yeah. So on your neighborhood stripper, these are the types of things that we can talk about in a safe space, right? With each other.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Maybe even,
Privately.
right.
If you want to do it publicly, have, allies jump in on the conversation, then do so. But if you want it privately and just entertainers, then that's how you do it too.
Yeah, and you almost have to, because when I started towards the very end of my career trying to, like, bounce around to try to get into some new clubs, one of them wanted to see my Instagram account. And I was like, but I'm like pro worker on there, and you're gonna see my Instagram account. You're not gonna hire me because you're gonna see me as a problem when really all I want to do is make money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to be careful about talking about these things in public. Is that ever an issue for you? Because you talk a lot about publicly on your Instagram. Has anything ever come up for you like that?
No, I hope
No.
it doesn't, but I always do
Right.
fear that it does. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'm still not going to shut up. So it is what it is.
Totally. Exactly.
I'm just
That's
going to set myself up for succession.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Well, where can we learn more about you and follow you and your neighborhood stripper? Because it just got released. So, it's out there. So what's the next step? Because I know you've been working really hard on this behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we all do? Tell us what to do.
So go to either yourneighborhoodstripper.com. You can also go to my Instagram, Your Neighborhood Stripper, or YNS directory, because that's where most of the posts from, the other people posting will be going there rather than Your Neighborhood Stripper. It's going to be different. But they're all still, connected.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where you go.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's where all of you listening should go then. And even if you're not a stripper, you should also go and make
Be
an
an ally.
account, be an ally, and
Yes.
spend your money.
Spend your money on stripper-owned businesses. Like,
Yes.
get these hoes off the street.
Exactly. Yes. And out of the club. And I don't know about, I just want to play with animals and walk around in the woods all day. Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. So
Just want to lay in the sun.
Yeah. So please spend money on stripper-owned businesses. That's a great way to support, because I get asked that all the time. How do I support sex workers? I'm like, just give them money, buy their stuff. It's like we were talking about. It's that easy.
And I was telling, the friend that was like, arguing with me, why not? He was like, why aren't there any organizations and things like that? And I was like, there are. It's just the fact that we can't be in the mainstream. We can't. They put us in the back end, and that keeps you guys from not being able to, donate and participate in things that will actually help entertainers actually just, become financially literal,
Right. Yeah.
But they don't look at that. They don't look at that. They just only see. So that is one of the reasons why Your Neighborhood Stripper exists. I want them to see it and end the stigma and support, stripper-owned businesses, because we're human too.
Yeah. It's really easy to tell. You just look at us.
I don't know. I'm part alien.
Take me with you.
They left me.
Oh, no. They'll come back. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you all heard it. Go to yourneighborhoodstripper.com and follow Pisces on Your Neighborhood Stripper on Instagram and sign up and do all the things. Is there any final thoughts you'd like to add before closing out today, Pisces?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. No pressure. No, this was a great convo.
Yeah.
Very excited for this to hit the airwaves, and thank you so much again. It's just such a treat to hang out with you in a different setting. So I'm really appreciative of your time. So thank you.
And I appreciate this. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, only because I get social anxiety. But otherwise, I had fun.
Awesome. Me too. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you to all of our listeners for joining us on YAS Stripper Podcast. Till next time. Bye.
And that's on Period Network.